just parked here at a Hyundai dealership to take a look at this glorious thing on the right. And I see Kia on the left. And I'm reminded of the Kia on the left came far after my time with Hyundai Kia, depending on your time scale. 2007, 2008, 2009 is when I was working on the Hyundai brand. And the dream then was to turn Hyundai into a credible car company. And I was charged with, literally by the board of directors, asked, give us 20 things that you would want, or, based on my track record at the company I was working at that was working with Hyundai as a client. And I made this entreaty, I guess you'd say, to the board of directors, as well as the product planners and any engineers I spoke with. And I said, I don't think you're really going to get the hearts and minds of people and the wallets of people if you keep on putting out competent but emotionless cars. And I would say, like, their cars are actually pretty fun to drive at the time. They just had a lot of issues with chassis and structure that they've since largely mended. But I said, you know what you need to do? Hire someone like Bierman from BMW, or work with Lotus. Get some get some chassis engineers in here. Get some people who have driven the Nürburgring as I have, who have worked on the cars that make people fanatics, the cars that I own. And you know what? It didn't happen immediately. A few years later, worked with Lotus to make the second generation Genesis ride and handle like it should have in the first place. And I had worked on the first generation car, but luckily they listened for the second generation car. And Mirai, another car I've worked on. But it's just really nice to see that, who knows if that was a direct result of my pushing for exactly this or not. But I will say, every time I see one of these cars now, I feel a little sense of pride. There's another car I worked on with the engineers. Nice. BK. Got to launch that one. Suddenly I'm surrounded by cars I have like a sort of paternal attachment to. But this is what happens when you work in the industry. First, you just work with one brand on one project, and then, now that I've been in this industry for 25 plus years, it's hard to drive down the road and not feel attached to these objects that are surrounding us. So I don't know what the moral of this story is, other than bravo Hyundai, and you've come a very long way. But I feel like you've been trying to do it with a bit of passion, a bit of personality, for a lot longer than you've been given credit for. But if you think EVs are not fun, if you think EVs are not a credible alternative, think about the fact that this car, in the hands of anyone who knows cars, who's actually driven it, is up with the all-time greats. And it's based on a family crossover, in a sense, a large hatchback that's almost an SUV in size. It's got a wheelbase of like a 3-row SUV. Imagine, if you will, as this brand develops further, what's going to happen. Imagine them making an i20N sized EV. Imagine them making an i30N sized EV. Once the weight comes down, this is going to be a magical formula, and it's already a magical formula. I'm here today thinking, can my family stretch to buy one of these? It's the perfect all-rounder. Truly. Throw a set of winter wheels on there when necessary. Take road trips. Enjoy yourself. It's just one of the best all-rounders of all time. And anyone who says, EV this, like, immediately they lose their license for I'm a car enthusiast, because you haven't driven it and you haven't driven any electrics that prove you wrong. That's your ignorance. It's not fact, not even close to fact. I know it makes you popular among other ignorant people, but hey, if that's what makes you happy, go for it. But anytime you open your mouth and say detrimental things about EVs and say that there's no such thing as a driver's EV, or fake sounds are bad, or da, you just qualify yourself as an extremely large idiot. So I urge you to reconsider that, and I urge you to consider a car like this.